Sawadee Cup, I'm JP Mestanza. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by pbcphuket.com. A petition has been launched by sex workers in Thailand in the hopes of decriminalizing prostitution in the kingdom. Thailand is a deeply conservative country that is still home to a massive sex industry, catering mostly to men. There are well over 123,000 sex workers in Thailand, according to a 2014 report by the UN. Anyone caught violating the ban on prostitution in Thailand will face a fine of up to 40,000 baht and/or 2 years in prison, with Johns who pay for sex with underage workers facing 6-year jail sentences. Mai Junta from the Empower Foundation, a group that supports sex workers, says, quote, "The law punishes sex workers, 80% of whom are mothers and the main breadwinner for the whole family." So far, over 1,000 people have signed the petition calling for prostitution to be decriminalized, since over 24,000 people were arrested last year alone over prostitution-related offenses. That's men and women. They say the goal is to collect 10,000 signatures and present the petition to Parliament in the hopes that lawmakers can change the laws on prostitution in Thailand. At about 6:15 a.m. this morning, police at Patong got a call that a baby was left abandoned on a wooden bench just blocks from Bangla Road, and now police are trying to track down its mother. The baby was found abandoned behind a bank in Patong, swaddled in cloth inside a black fabric bag marked "I'm reusable" as part of Earth Day activities. The bag also contained a bottle of milk, diapers, and clothing for the baby, according to police, who say the newborn is no more than 7 days old and was in good health at last report. A woman found the baby at 6 a.m. this morning, hearing the baby's cries, and then called police, who was there when police arrived, and she said that he doesn't appear to have any injuries. He's now been taken to Patong Hospital as the search for the mother begins. A new consumer protection law is now in effect in Thailand, which states that online vendors must display the prices of their products on social media and web pages to potential buyers and not reveal the prices in private messages, or violators may face hefty fines. Online vendors must show their prices to consumers, as well as details like the type, the size, the weight of their products, and all other service charges on all websites and online platforms that they do business on, or face up to a 10,000 baht fine per offense. All prices are also supposed to be written clearly in Arabic numerals, not Thai numerals, to avoid anything being lost in translation. Anyone with information of offending posts by vendors who don't tell their prices, they can be referred to the Department of Internal Trade, with any informants receiving 25% of the fine if they produce evidence like screenshots and more. When former immigration chief Surachat Hakpan, known as Big Jok, was appointed in October 2018, he quickly made headlines almost on a daily basis for his aggressive pursuit of mostly foreign criminals and online fraud. But that lasted only 7 months, as he was abruptly removed as immigration chief, and we were never told why. Now, over a year later, he's filing a case against the Prime Minister. Big Jok filed a complaint against Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha in the administrative court over the transfer in 2018, which he called unlawful, happened against his will, and was never given a reason why it was done in the first place. Back on April 6, 2019, Big Jok, then the highest profile policeman in Thailand, was transferred to the Prime Minister's office, which usually happens when officers and officials are facing an investigation, almost like a banishment of sorts. Just a few months before his transfer, he intervened in the case of Rahaf Al-Kunun, a young Saudi woman who fled from her reportedly abusive father and arrived in Thailand, although she was actually trying to make her way to Australia to seek asylum. When she got to Bangkok, a man who did not disclose that he was a Saudi embassy official, he took her passport, and within minutes, she was detained by Thai immigration officials at a Bangkok hotel, where she then barricaded herself. She opened a Twitter account and in a series of posts told her story and renounced her religion. It made international headlines, and the United Nations got involved, with Big Jok, the head of immigration at the time, reversing a deportation order back to Saudi Arabia, allowing her to seek asylum and resettle in Canada. And this happened just a few months before his transfer. Just a few months ago, his car was also shot up while he was at a restaurant in Bangkok. In addition, over 90 officials that have been transferred to the office of the Prime Minister in the past 2 years, according to the Bangkok Post. About 80 of them have returned to their original posts, some of whom will retire next month. The son of an active duty police officer in Talang police station is now behind bars, along with an alleged accomplice, after a raid by Talang police earlier this week. Chanatip Dada and James Narongrit were arrested on Monday at their home in Talang after a police raid in which they seized nearly 530 yaba meth pills, 82 grams of crystal meth, a .45 caliber handgun, and a range of ammunition, according to police, who say that Chanatip is the son of a police officer in Talang police station. Marine wildlife experts have now been called in to Phuket to help with efforts in catching a crocodile that was spotted in mangroves near Sapanhin on the outskirts of Phuket town last week. The team of experts called Patong Lumnam Tapi, they've built a steep trap place where the crocodile was spotted in the hopes that it returns, with nets at 3 separate locations also set up and a search area expanded to 10 kilometers, though no crocodile was found yet. This is the same team that was called in 2 years ago to catch the female croc Yanui, which they trapped in nets near the rocks off Kolkata, just off Layam Beach, back in July of 2018. And 3 new coronavirus cases in Thailand today, all of them once again Thais returning from abroad, this time Japan and France, as the total for the nation rises to 3,514, with 95% of patients recovered and the death toll now at 59. The visa amnesty ends this Saturday, and with foreigners scrambling to either leave the country or apply for extensions, we'll give you a brief breakdown on the extensions, as overstay fines of 500 baht a day will be levied for non-visa holders starting September 27th. This is Thailand, and of course, as always, things are subject to change. In order to stay beyond September 26, foreigners staying on any form of tourist visa will be allowed to repeatedly renew their permits to stay for 30 days at a time after the amnesty ends on September 26, but only if you're in one of 2 groups. The first group are tourists unable to return home due to illness, in which case you need to apply at an immigration office and present a medical certificate to prove that you cannot fly. The second group that could repeatedly renew their permits are tourists who cannot go back home because of lack of flights or the circumstances in their home country. And these people must present a letter from their home country's embassy or consulate in Thailand requesting that the foreigner be allowed to temporarily stay in Thailand. It's unclear if you have to have a letter for each 30-day extension, but you do have to reapply every 30 days. And that's it for Phuket Extra today, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. For safe, secure, and soundproof windows, visit pvcphuket.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000, and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment, offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.